Hidden in the woods of Hernando County, Florida, lies an abandoned house that, legend has it, once belonged to a witch. The story goes that the witch routinely practiced witchcraft and cast spells. Neighbors began to hear chilling reports of bad, even evil things happening there, and a warning quickly spread through town to stay away for your own good. The townspeople kept their distance. Then, one day, the witch mysteriously disappeared, leaving the house and surrounding property in disarray. Over 20 years has passed since then, and those brave enough to venture out to the now dilapidated property have reported strange noises and sightings, leading many to believe her spirit still haunts the land. What happened one night when one paranormal group,
how many spirits are with us? Is there one spirit?
Dared to investigate.
Marie just got knocked down.
Help me up, help me, help me, help me.
Okay?
What was it? What was it?
In March 2018, Patricia Adams decided to conduct a second investigation of the legendary witch's house. This time with her sister Marie, her niece Angie, and two friends, Omar and James.
All right, let's go find this
You want
witch.
to get possessed by a witch?
No.
But from the moment they entered the woods, Patricia instantly became nervous.
Well, when I was here last time, we heard all kinds of crap, including whispers. My name is Patricia Adams, and I am the owner of the video. I'm the one that filmed it. Making the walk out there, oh gosh, it was just nerve-wracking. I could feel the hair raising on the back of my neck.
And when they arrived at the witch's house, the feeling got worse.
Normally when we film somewhere that's haunted, it's a good spirit. I don't have any problems. Here, I feel very uneasy, not
Very
comfortable,
heavy
like there's something evil here. Like, it's not a good spirit.
Despite their unease with the situation, the team persisted. The group was determined to have a paranormal encounter with the witch's spirit. On her previous visit, Patricia captured what she believed to be a photo of her.
There is a picture where we believe it's her standing there, which is a woman with real curly, long curly hair, wearing like a long flowing dress kind of look. Once I saw that, I was like, oh wow, we definitely caught her on camera. We gotta go back there.
This time, Patricia wanted to make contact with the witch, so she brought some dowsing rods, traditionally used to find water under the earth, but in the paranormal world, a means of communication. But before she could even pull them out of her bag,
Damn, that's freaking weird. My dowsing rods just flew out of my bag. They just flew out of my freaking bag. I heard them rattling as if somebody was grabbing at them, and then they just flew out of my bag. There's no way they could just fall out. Nothing ever falls out of this bag, ever. What the hell?
Find them?
They're right here on the ground. It's freaked me out a little bit. I mean, I was thinking, oh, she doesn't like these dowsing rods, you know, and yeah, it made me a little nervous.
That witch is trying to take your dowsing rods out of your bag.
Perhaps the entities that are in this house don't want to be bothered and they don't want to communicate. And in order to not be bothered and to not communicate, they have to get rid of the technology that is used to harness their energy.
Especially when we go someplace like this.
regardless, Patricia and the group pressed on. She held the dowsing rods in her hands and asked a question, hoping the rods would react when it reached the answer.
We want to know if how many spirits are with us. Is there one spirit with us? Is there two? Is there three? Is there four? So he's trying to say yes on four. Is there five?
Oh my God, there's five.
Try that again.
What does that mean?
So the theory is, if there is spirit energy present, they can manipulate the rods to give you a binary answer. Yes, no. You can go through numbers, you can go through the alphabet and say, look, if you cross the rods, this corresponds to different answers.
When it got to 5, it finally crossed, so I guess they got their answer. There was at least 5 spirits in the area.
I was a little surprised. I was expecting it to just say 1 or 2, but not 5. Or is it 5?
Oh my God, this 5.
So I usually keep a careful eye to make sure that they're not manipulating them. And so often you see people going, "Oh, I'm getting answers," and their hands are shaking, they're moving, they're leaning. It's very difficult to put any stock in that. But in this video, I kept a close eye on her hands, and I don't see them moving.
Patricia was in disbelief. Could there be more than the witch's spirit haunting the area?
Try that again.
What does that mean?
My spirit is a yes answer there.
That was a yes
How many
answer?
spirits are with us right now? Is there 1?
If she just did it once, sure, they could have gone, "Oh, we got an answer. This is amazing. Look at all the information we got." But she went back and said, "Let me make sure. Let me double check this." And verification is always good.
As Patricia counted once again, the tension mounted.
4,
Then, as she reached the number 5,
5.
suddenly,
Marie just got knocked down. Marie just got knocked down. My camera went dead and everything. I don't know what the hell is going on.
the team has apparently suffered an attack.
Help me up! Help me! Help me! Help me!
Are you okay?
What was it? What was it?
My first thought was a demon attack, that we're getting attacked. We're under attack right now. We have got to go. We're not safe here.
But what happened?
3.
Patricia walks us through the terrifying ordeal.
I hear what sounds like a grunt. I knew that it was coming from that window area, and I knew nobody was over there. None of us. We were all together. And then that's when my sister was thrown.
Dude, I want to know what that noise was.
I do too.
There was definitely a noise off to the side, and I think that's what gained everybody's attention. And when they came back, she was way over there. So we didn't see it, but she definitely moved quite a distance in a very abrupt period of time.
Help me up! Help me! Help me! Help
Are
me!
you
What
okay?
was it? What was it?
What the hell?
Oh my
God, what was that? Really?
Oh, I don't know. What was it?
Anytime that happens on a ghost hunt, the implication is that there was a big enough burst of energy to disrupt what the person was trying to achieve, that connection that they were really going for. It's hard to say what that means. I think on an obvious instinctive level, that's bad news.
If something is capable of pushing you to the ground like that, then who knows what else it's capable of doing.
It was immediately clear to the whole team that the sooner they get out of this place, the better.
Whatever Patty was communicating with right now did not, it either didn't like the dowsing rods or it didn't like Marie.
Something bad had to have happened here. You're right, we were stupid. We're leaving.
Rattled, Patricia and the team quickly gathered their belongings and made their way back to their cars.
Man must have pushed you so. You went blind.
Did you feel it in your arm? I thought you were just running away.
My knees hurt worse than anything.
These investigators are probably no longer welcome at this house.
It was pretty scary, actually. It's all kind of a blur to all of us right now because it happened so quickly and we were not expecting it, of course.
But when it comes to ghost attacks, many believe it could have been a lot worse. Patricia and the team have definitely been warned to stay out.
I don't think I'll go back there. I'm just very thankful that no one was severely injured or anything like that. And now we know, just kind of stay away from that place. Because if that happened, what's going to happen next time? What's going to happen if we go back? Something really bad could happen. Marie just got knocked down.
Help me up! Help me! Help me! Help
Are
me!
you okay?
What was it? What was it?
Working as a security guard is a tale of two extremes. For the vast majority of your shift, you're probably counting the hours, scrolling through your phone, trying not to doze off while doing your very best to remain alert. Then, of course, there are those rare, heart-pounding moments when the job requires your full attention. As it did late one night for Raul Aguelo, who was investigating some strange noises while working his shift in an empty sports stadium. Unfortunately, Raul was not prepared to deal with whoever or whatever was causing the ruckus. April 2018 in Buenos Aires. Security guard Raul Aguelo was working the night shift at the Thomas Adolfo Duco soccer stadium when he suddenly heard banging.
Ya son como las 11 de la noche y la tercera vez que estoy escuchando este ruido.
Terrified, Raul made his way towards the noise, deep into the underbelly of the stadium. As he got closer, the bangs grew louder until he saw it. The locker room door opening and shutting on its own.
¿Cómo puede ser que no haya nada?
There's no one there, no draft to cause the door to move, and only one way in and one way out. Freaked out, Raul rushed back to his station, confused as to what just happened. He pulled out his phone to review the footage, and what he saw horrified him. Watch closely as Raul enters the locker room. Slowly looks around, when suddenly, a black shadow darts by and disappears into thin air.
This is insane. I don't know what it is we're seeing here. Kind of looks like a shadow person, but I certainly hope it's not, because I've never heard a single good thing about a Shadow Man encounter. Most of them have been downright terrifying.
I've never personally seen anything move so incredibly violent like that. I've seen shadows, I've captured shadow people and apparitions and things like that, but having an object move like that is incredibly unsettling.
It seemed like it's trying to get his attention. And I'm sure his patrol, he's got to go all around the stadium, and maybe when he gets close by to this particular locker room or this particular door that's easy for the spirit to manipulate, oh, he's here, I'm gonna make this happen, and I'm gonna get his attention.
The danger in this instance is that his fear, if this is something that's negative, even if it's something that's just mischievous, it could feed on that fear.
These energies need to have a sense of feeling alive or need to experience the human experience through you. And if that's gonna be fear, they'll take it.
And if the entity was trying to scare Raul, it succeeded.
Dios. Quiero ir.
The experience proved to be too much for him, and he left his security job soon after.
Any sensible person would get out of there. There's a point at which bravado becomes foolhardy. When your instinct says get out of here, don't try and be brave. Get out.
I like that he actually brought the camera down and just wanted to show everybody, look, I'm not crazy, this is happening. Just catches that little creature for a couple seconds. I think he proved his point.
When an old house and its surrounding property give you the creeps, there is usually one primary reason why. It's not the buildup of dust, the giant cobwebs, or the swampy land. It's the history. Every old house and its land has history. And if that history includes it being a church and a school, you can bet that some of that energy is still trapped between the walls and deep in the surrounding earth. And sometimes, that energy is so strong, we can see it with our own eyes. Or, in the case of Amanda Papadopoulos, the eyes of her home security system. In 2018, Amanda Papadopoulos and her family moved into a charming 116-year-old property in Upper Lincolnshire, England. They installed security cameras on both the interior and exterior of the house. Over the first 6 months, the cameras captured loads of unexplained audio that sounded like marching and the sounds of children. In the early morning hours of March 2019, one of the cameras picked up something much more disturbing. A shadowy ghost moving in the garden.
Hi, I'm Amanda Papadopoulos and our camera caught the footage. I was excited, pretty freaked out, I must admit. We can't explain it because the cameras are new, so there's no cobwebs, it's live, there's lights, street lamps, you can see an animal go past, so it's pretty surreal, to be fair.
When I first saw this, I think there was a car coming around the corner, so I thought, well, that's a reflection somewhere of the car's headlights. But when the car goes away, all we have left is a stationary street light. It's the only other light source, and this figure doesn't seem to be affected by that at all. It seems to be wandering around this garden completely of its own will.
It doesn't look exactly human, but it's weird because it sort of does feel like it's walking around in the garden in a very nervous, frantic way.
It's extremely possible this ghost is just a kid playing around. Maybe they lost their life on the playground and did not want to go inside.
This could easily have been someone's morning checking out the garden routine, a path that someone traveled consistently and regularly, and then, it ends at the back door as they go back inside. And the thought that that was such an ingrained pathway through someone's daily life that it would still manifest now.
The appearance of the entity, in addition to the sounds, had Amanda convinced they had moved into a haunted house.
We were picking up audio, which was footsteps, which we kind of couldn't really explain. And we kept hearing children giggling. So I'd go downstairs to say to the kids, what are you doing up at 2 a.m? And they're asleep. So it was like a build-up of a few things.
And because Amanda knew the history of the 116-year-old house, it all seemed to make sense.
It's been a schoolhouse, it's been a scout place, it's been a church, it's been a Sunday school, and a lot of the locals who have been here for quite some time historically have given us, history of the area.
It actually sounds like there's multiple presences there. Like this was a place that had a lot of different layers of life to it at a lot of different times. And it sounds like all of those layers are showing up in spiritual activity.
Still, Amanda was curious if the entity had ever been seen around the house before. And if not, why now?
Contacted the lady that had the house before and said, have you ever seen anything yourself? And she said no. So we possibly said maybe because we've changed something and we've cut some trees and changed the image, possibly that could have made something aware that there was some changes.
When you start moving walls around and changing colors and tiles and things like that, it could become confusing to the energy because all of a sudden the format that they're used to living in is not the same anymore. And that can stir up some paranormal activity for sure.
In spite of the haunting noises and video, Amanda feels at peace with her ghosts.
It doesn't scare me because the dog's not alarmed and the kids aren't freaked out. But as a human, you can tell if you feel threatened, can't you, even by something that's not there. So no, we don't have that feeling at all.
There are certain risks you must be willing to undertake if you choose to hunt for ghosts. Even if you're not scared. Even if it's just a hobby. And even if it's only for a short period of time. You have to be willing to investigate some pretty creepy places, many of which have sinister pasts. You have to constantly be on guard for the unexpected. And, like George Stewart, you have to deal with the very real possibility that the ghosts might follow you home and suddenly try to communicate.
Oh my God, man.
By playing ball with you.
I cannot believe this.
2017 in Suffolk, Virginia. George Stewart was at home alone and caught this bizarre activity on video in the upstairs hallway.
Oh my God, man. I cannot believe this. Please be nice. Please be nice. Dude, I got goosebumps so bad right now. You like the ball? What the? Oh.
At times, it seemed as though whatever was moving this ball was actually playing with George.
Are you pushing it to me? Dude, this is crazy, man. What? Okay, all right, okay, stop.
It was a weekend. My kids and everybody were out doing their thing, and I kept hearing the ball bounce. And this is something that's been happening. I was like, I could never capture it. It was like you would hear it, and then you'd go look for it, and it was sitting still. And I'm like, I know the thing's bouncing. All of a sudden, I heard it bounce down the hallway, and at that time, I grabbed my phone, and I was like, I gotta record this, because nobody's gonna believe me.
Go ahead and move the ball again. Whoa, there it goes. You like the ball? What the? Oh, dude, it's pushing it down. Oh my.
The thing that got me was like, seems to be pushed, like something's pushing the ball to me. It's pretty wild, man. It was frightening to see it move, because once it moves, all of a sudden you feel that connection with whatever it is. And then my goosebumps popped up. So, I mean, when that happens, I know for a fact, like, I'm being physically affected by what I'm seeing. So.
Ghosts make themselves known in many different ways, and of course one of those ways is by moving objects, just letting us know they're around. So perhaps that's what we have here, a ghost that just wants to make itself known.
Dude, I got goosebumps so bad right now. Please be nice.
At one point, it seems to just sort of slide across the floor, keeping its orientation the same. That's very unusual.
One of the ways that people can tell if a spirit is interacting with an object is if that object moves in ways that you wouldn't expect it to. So this ball, as the trigger object, is where he's asking the spirit to focus its energy. And it's rolling and jerking in ways that a ball that's simply giving into a slight slope on the floor would not necessarily move.
If this was a burst of air or air conditioning coming on or anything else that would cause this ball to move, it would just roll, and momentum would keep it moving until it ran out of energy and it would stop. This one moves in increments. Very unusual to look at. It's almost unnatural.
Are you pushing it to me? Dude, this is crazy, man.
While playing with his spirit, or whatever it was, George began to consider how and why it ended up in his home. And it may have something to do with his work as a paranormal investigator.
I actually was a ghost hunter, so I traveled up and down to these ghosts, and I sometimes wondered if it was something connected just to me and followed me.
And there was one particular job where George believes this connection may have taken place.
I investigated a funeral home in our area, so I go into the funeral home, and then immediately we hear a woman crying, like hysterically, losing it. And I was like, well, you know what? It's probably a real person. I'm gonna walk back there, and that's what I'm supposed to see, right? So I get closer, and I get to these doors, and as I get into the doors, there should be a woman on the other side. There's nobody there. This really freaked me out because it was so loud.
If we're talking about poltergeist activity, a funeral home would be prime real estate for ghosts. So yeah, it totally makes sense that perhaps he went into a funeral home, an entity attached itself to him, decided it loved him, and wanted to hang out with him forever.
Dude, this is crazy, man.
As a paranormal investigator, it kind of comes with the territory. When you go investigate other people's locations, you can bring back energies with you that you've never met before.
His involvement in the work leaves him open to the spirit realm. Just because he's chosen to retire doesn't necessarily mean that spirit won't continue to seek him out.
Over the next several months following this video, George came to believe that the entity, whom he had treated as a harmless child back in 2017,
come on, sweetheart, move the ball,
was doing more harm than good to him and his family.
We got depressed a couple of times, like different situations where it wasn't our feelings. Like we were picking up on something negative, and I'd leave the house and feel great. Come back in the house, and we were more miserable in this house than probably any other place. I think the energy of whatever was there, I think it was malevolent. For me, I started going back to church with my family because I felt like I had to do something.
This is a common thing that takes place during some hauntings. People really seem to get depressed and down because of this kind of ominous presence that's constantly around them.
You know, you get a lot of drained emotions, you get weak, you get sick. You just do not want to be there. It's like having a feeling of dread without really having anything manifest itself.
Which is why George and his family eventually moved. And these days are feeling much better because of it. At least for the time being.
I don't feel the same negative feelings. I'm more positive, but we've only been here for a couple of months.
People always say, don't take your work home with you. And that goes double if you're a ghost hunter. Because if you take your work home with you, you, my friend, are going to be haunted forever.
Dude, this is crazy, man. What?
The roommate from hell. Most of us have our own version of the same story. My roommate was messy. Mine was irresponsible. Mine was never on time with the rent. And to be sure, almost all bad roommate anecdotes are fairly entertaining. But one young man in Louisiana has the most terrifying roommate story, when he began getting taunted by a roommate that was invisible.
What the was that?
In the spring of 2019, after spending the week studying for finals, college student Eric Arneville found himself going a little stir-crazy.
All right.
So he decided to do something quite unusual. Film himself reading the entire screenplay of the 2002 film Spider-Man for his loyal 300-plus YouTube subscribers.
Okay.
Without the aid of knowing which character says which lines.
It doesn't say who's talking. It just kind of has all of the lines. So I just kind of have to read them out and remember how the movie goes.
About 20 minutes into the read, Eric suddenly heard something.
And what for me? For you? What the was that?
Living alone, Eric was a little freaked out. He decided to search outside for the source of the noise.
What the was that?
But found nothing. He returned back to read some more, when
Oh my God, what a cool car. Pretty tight.
he heard a noise inside the room.
Dude, what the is that? Holy dude, this is freaking out.
And another one.
1, 2, 3, that I am freaking the out, dude. This is killing me.
Then
A freak show.
the lights started to flicker.
Yeah, in case you can't tell, that just turned off and then back on. Are you seeing that?
Finally, after 40 minutes on camera, any doubts about these disturbances being random were officially removed.
Just give it one. My name is Eric Arneville, and I filmed that video. I've never had anything like that happen. That was crazy. I've never seen anything fall over with such a force. I've seen, like, you know, you have the classic lights messing up and things turning on. It was a lot of stuff like that. And so when that happened in the video, when it fell over so abruptly, that was kind of intense.
Though the phone moving violently on the shelf was disturbing, everything else Eric experienced that night was actually par for the course.
Well, I've had some different type of supernatural things happen. This has happened for, by now, probably over 4 years. It's just little things. It's never anything super major. I'll wake up to a radio going off, or my amplifier will be making noise even though it's not plugged in. I never was able to catch much of it on camera or anything like that. And when I was doing the Spider-Man script and things started happening, I was like, this is actually a pretty a good way to film this. This is a good thing I'm filming all of this. I decided, well, I'm gonna keep doing this because this is good. Getting it all.
This guy is reading a superhero script, and it seems to me like he definitely needs a superhero in his life to combat this entity.
Tight, huh? Dude, what the is that? Holy dude, this is freaking what is going on?
The activity escalates just as his fear escalates. And this happens all the time. Energies feed off of your energy.
I am freaking the out, dude. This is killing me. What is happening?
So if they're looking to get a rise out of you, whether it's anger or fear, they're doing that on purpose. And then you start getting into the activity that takes real energy to create, not just knocking on a door and all of a sudden you see objects getting moved.
This is a physical object that is somehow manipulated by something we can't see. And it doesn't seem to be the doing of this person, judging from his demeanor, judging by his reaction. It doesn't seem like he's orchestrated this in any way.
Despite the apparent uptick in the poltergeist's activities, Eric has mostly come to terms with his relatively unorthodox living situation.
I've never had a problem with anything. Like, nothing's ever harmed me, so I just kind of, okay, whatever, and then I move past it.
Just like, I don't know what else to do. I just gotta accept it at this point.
This guy actually has a perfect strategy when dealing with the poltergeist. He just leans in. He's like, yeah, this is my little dude. He turns on the faucet every now and again. We're buddies, we're friends. That's all you gotta do. Lean in, don't be scared. Don't feed into the energy of the ghost. Don't give it negative energy. Just be chill.
Well, I guess we'll go back to this.
I often talk with people who say, oh yeah, you know, our house is haunted, and they just take it as an everyday occurrence. They seem to cohabitate well, so as long as they're not feeling ill at ease because of this alleged haunting, then more power to them.
It's not like it's really that frightening after the initial just like, what's that noise, you know? It's nothing big, but it happens frequently enough to where I'm just like, okay, I have a bad roommate.
What the was that?
The Potter Street Station in Saginaw, Michigan, built in 1881, was one of the largest train depots in the U.S., carrying countless passengers to and from their destinations for nearly 70 years. Unfortunately, not all of its passengers were living. The station became a hub for dead soldiers returning from both world wars. The body count became so overwhelming, a casket shop was opened on the premises. But due to this long and sad history, rumors of ghost sightings have circulated throughout the town ever since, leading one intrepid paranormal investigator to explore the station himself in hopes of capturing proof, which he seemed to get in droves.
Did you touch me?
In 2011, in Saginaw, Michigan, Steve Shippey and a cameraman went into Potter Street Station with a lot of camera equipment and just one goal: capture proof that it was haunted.
What we were trying to do is solidify the claims of the people that currently own the property, the police officers that work that beat, seeing those shadowy figures, apparitions in the window. Could this in fact be true? And we just wanted to document that.
To increase their chances of seeing something, they set up 12 stationary night vision cameras throughout the 11,000 square feet of the train station. They then set off through each room to see what they could find.
Would anybody like to communicate with me? I really would like to communicate with you.
Within minutes, things seemed off.
I swear I thought that chair just moved right there. Is that you over there in the corner?
As soon as we entered the old train station, the vibe was very heavy. It was very eerie.
It's a bunch of old funeral invitations.
One thing that was so unique about this property is it seemed that people just basically up and left. I mean, there was still things on the desk and calendars on the wall. It was like a virtual time capsule.
This is probably the creepiest place I've ever investigated in my life. Not to mention the most dangerous. Is that you that moved the lights?
I was admiring the old fireplace. When I look over in that direction, you could see a chandelier swing on its own. Nothing ambient could explain that.
What happened next was even more terrifying.
Did you touch me? Did you just touch my shoulder? Are you sure? Are you positive? Something just tapped me right on the shoulder, dude.
I just feel something touch the back of my shoulder, and literally I jumped because I knew it wasn't my camera guy, but I was trying to justify it, and of course, upon playing it back, it wasn't possible.
Did you touch me? Did you just touch my shoulder? Are you sure? Are you positive?
He's startled, he spins right around. That's the way I reacted when I was touched, so it kind of hit home, like that's how you react.
A lot of things go through your mind because you don't know. Are these spirits angry? Are they just simply trying to get your attention? Until you experience it yourself, you really don't know what you're messing with.
Though shaken up, Steve pressed on and suddenly realized they were in the casket shop.
Man, these things are just laying everywhere. Back in the day, they had the casket maker right here in the train station because of all the bodies that would come back from the war.
There was a very sad, heavy feeling in there. A lot of these young men were leaving from that train station to go off to battle, and then sadly, some of them came back deceased.
Steve's senses were on high alert, and for good reason. Keep your eyes on the doorway.
There's more of those pads right there for the caskets. It's kind of ominous.
Did you catch that? Look again. In slow motion.
I'm positive something just moved right there.
Out of the corner of my eye, I saw something kind of luminous, sort of transparent, just dart by this opening that was kind of cracked into the wall.
It seems clear and wonderfully outlined, but totally blank on the inside. That one, I got the chills. That was creepy.
It seems to be about the right size to be a person, and apparitions have been witnessed here before, so that's in line with what's to be expected in this location.
It definitely startled me. I was pretty scared. My hair stood up. You don't know what this thing is or what it wants, and is it gonna run at you?
There are hotspots. There are places where it seems more likely that you'll have a spirit interaction. And this place, because people were coming and going, and soldiers who had been killed in the war, their bodies came through here. There's a lot of energy left behind.
This could also be haunted with the energies of people who passed away at this train station, or just the residual energy of people who went there every day.
More spooked than they were comfortable with, Steve and his cameraman decided it was time to leave. They retrieved the 12 stationary cameras and went home to pore over the footage. That's when the full extent of the station's haunting truly sank in.
These are the kinds of illustrations of paranormal activity that we see time and time again. It doesn't take a lot of force to open and close a door. And that seems to be about the level of energy they can really exert on our physical objects.
The evidence was overwhelming, and what they caught in the employee locker room was of particular interest to Steve. Keep your eyes on the lockers to the right.
at one point, you can actually see two individual orbs kind of swoop into the room, go to the locker, open the locker.
You're seeing lockers and cabinets opening up on their own. Whatever's there seems to be quite active.
A lot of times orbs can be misconstrued as dust or other things, but clearly these orbs showed intelligence and there was actual movement in conjunction with their pattern. It was absolutely a paranormal event.
Maybe it's just residual energy of someone who worked on the railroads, starting their shift or ending their shift and going home. They're still going about their daily business.
When we saw this activity, we were thrilled. It's very hard to capture evidence of that nature, and the fact that we were able to capture two spirit orbs moving two different lockers was phenomenal.
Seems like whatever is going on there, it's not just one entity, but a series of entities that have decided to make that their home forever and ever.
Steve was convinced. The rumors and reports were true. Potter Street Station was haunted.
We wanted to get in there for years. We heard all the stories, heard all the reports, but we never, ever believed that we were going to capture that much activity and the quality of the evidence that we documented. It was mind-blowing.
Did you touch me? Did you just touch my shoulder?
Paranormal investigators spend countless hours walking through abandoned locations, haunted houses, and creepy cemeteries, hoping to catch a glimpse of or connect with some otherworldly being. But at the end of every investigation, when they return to the safety of their own homes, every precaution is taken to leave the ghosts, specters, and other ghouly entities behind. Unfortunately, for one ghost hunter in the UK, closing his front door was not quite enough to keep some kind of presence from slipping inside his home and wreaking total havoc. Lee Hart, the owner of a paranormal tour company outside Manchester, England, became suspicious that something supernatural might have followed him home from work. After waking up multiple times to parts of his home in disarray, he decided to set up 6 cameras around the house he shares with his wife and 2 kids. When he reviewed the footage, his worst fears were confirmed. It appeared something, or someone, was in the house, and it was up to no good. The living room seemed particularly active. The kitchen also showed signs of activity. But nothing was quite as unsettling as when Lee realized whatever was in their house entered his inner sanctum, the bedroom.
When I saw the footage back about the spirit turning the computer on, it gets to you, knowing that it's in your bedroom and it's close to where you sleep. We first started filming to prove that what we was experiencing was genuine paranormal activity. At the beginning, we were pretty excited about it. As time's gone on, I've become more afraid of it. My main concern is my family. I've got 2 young children in the house and a wife. So their safety is my main priority.
The one thing that you do notice in these videos is that there seems to be an escalation. Things are getting knocked off of shelves, things are happening. And after it seems like all the things that they're doing hasn't quite gotten the desired result, a monitor goes on. It's almost like, all right, he's not responding to this, let's take it to the next step. They are trying to work with the physical space as well as electronics.
It's not surprising that the computer screen turned on because ghosts are known to be conductive with electricity.
This ghost really doesn't seem to understand boundaries. If you're sleeping and it's maybe moving some cutlery around the kitchen, that's one thing. But when you're sleeping in your bed and the ghost is working on your computer, he's moving his chair around at the desk right next to the foot of the bed, that's, I think, a little too close for comfort.
Bedrooms are thought to be safe spaces, very intimate spaces. So the fact that there is a paranormal activity happening within the bedroom as they sleep, ooh, that would definitely keep me up at night.
And it's not just Lee who's being kept up at night.
We've got 2 dogs and 2 cats, and I believe they are sensitive to it.
Animals do have a sixth sense when it comes to poltergeist activity. As you see, this cat kind of jumps up on the counter and it seems to be staring at the entity as the entity moves the jar off of the counter.
Cats are some of our most trustworthy paranormal barometers. Yes, the cat jumps back when whatever it is falls, but the cat knew something was up long before that thing fell.
Many animals can hear different frequencies than man can, and can even see different portions of the light spectrum. So it's commonly believed that dogs and cats and other animals can see spirits. If not, they're definitely picking up on something that we can't.
But why does Lee believe he somehow brought this entity home?
We first started to notice activity after my daughter brought a haunted doll home from one of our events. Our house really has no history in terms of age. It's 40, 50 years old, so there's no known history with the house, no deaths, nothing that we know of.
Why would this be happening? Is a spirit randomly passing through, or is there an effort to get the attention of the living people? Is this a cognizant, conscious entity that needs to accomplish something and needs living people to accomplish it for them? Or is this a mindless, irrational imprint of energy that's simply left behind, causing trouble?
I firmly believe that what's haunting us is a poltergeist. It's typical activity, throwing things, moving things, being a pain.
Lee tried burning the doll to see if that would put an end to the activity. Unfortunately, nothing changed. On the bright side, Lee doesn't believe the energy is malicious and feels his family is safe to stay put.
This is our home, so we're in it for the long haul, I believe. As of yet, it's not hurt anyone, it's more about fear.
This poltergeist doesn't seem extremely dangerous or malevolent, just seems to be playing around, really. Nothing too extreme, pretty basic haunting stuff. It doesn't seem aggressive, and when the entity is around, if they don't feel the presence of evil, it's probably a friendly ghost.
Coming up, a fearless family creeps up on a Bigfoot.
That is not a human.
When it comes to cryptid videos, it's easy to complain about the often shaky, out-of-focus camera work. But imagine being faced with a creature you've never seen before, in an environment that is not familiar. Your fear goes into overdrive, making holding a camera steady the last thing on your mind. Which makes it all the more impressive that one father, while out on a walk with his family, was able to steady his nerves enough to get this relatively stable, high-def footage of Bigfoot. Deep in the winter wilderness of Calgary, Alberta, Canada, a family is spending the day outdoors, enjoying the scenery, when they suddenly catch sight of something ahead, moving in the trees. The father quickly pulls out his phone and begins to record. It doesn't take long for them to realize that this is not your average wildlife sighting.
That is not a human.
What we see here is a hairy, reddish-brown creature. It's difficult to determine the exact size, but it certainly looks to be rather large.
It's here at first.
As it turns, you can clearly see the back of its head and its shoulders do not appear bear-like at all. It's more ape-like. A large, round head, broad shoulders, completely covered in brown hair. It doesn't look like a bear. It looks far more a human ape like.
Large, reddish-brown hair or fur. More ape-like than bear-like. Sound familiar?
This is not old video. This is not film or getting resolution. You see what appears to be a Sasquatch, Bigfoot.
And its movement and size seem to confirm this.
Bigfoot tends to be between 6 and 9 feet tall. They walk upright with an elongated gait, and they kind of swing their arms in a very aggressive manner.
That's been one of the classic identifiers of Bigfoot caught on film always, is the way that this creature moves. And I'm just gonna say, I'm sold. I think that could be Bigfoot.
They seem to have an authentic reaction to what they're seeing in real time, and that's why I really like this footage of Bigfoot.
This probable Bigfoot quickly disappears into the woods, just as one might expect it to do.
It does exactly what a Bigfoot does. Goes away. Almost all the footage that we have is them fleeing contact with humans.
He seems to be aware that he's got watchers. He doesn't seem to be afraid of them, but he seems to be like, all right, I'm done, time to go. He stands up and lumbers off. The movement seems so fluid, as if, yes, this were a creature that is used to moving through dense underbrush and trees.
And that's just one more reason to believe that this is exactly what we think it is.
If you want to find Bigfoot, there's a whole lot of woods up in this area of Canada to do it in.
Calgary is certainly Bigfoot country. There's a national park near there called Noreg, which is a huge Bigfoot hotspot.
This seems to be one of the territories that Sasquatch or Bigfoot is often seen in because of the large tracts of land still ruled by nature, and it gives them the freedom to exist and hide and be unfettered by man.
Thanks to the steady hands of this dad, not to mention the technological advances of modern-day phone cameras, this is just one more solid piece of evidence that Bigfoot is alive and well in Canada.
The more advanced the cameras are, the more detail we're getting about colors and definition and contrast. I'm sure we'll see a lot more videos like this in the future.
That is not a human.
Coming up, paranormal investigators seek the truth.
These are these cells.
In a boarding school with a dark past.
Did you do some bad stuff?
The Nova Scotia School for Boys in Canada has a very dark history. During the mid-20th century, misbehaved boys were sent to the facility under the care of a mostly untrained and unqualified staff. Reports of abuse and horrific conditions went ignored until the 1990s, when multiple former students sued the reformatory, and it was subsequently shut down. For over 20 years, it has mostly sat empty, until two ghost hunters entered the building and found that some of that dark history may have stuck around.
I know you might not want to think about it. Did you do some bad stuff? These would be doors you would not want to be coming through, eh?
On December 21st, 2018, paranormal team Cindy LeBlanc and Jeremy Vingo arrived at the Nova Scotia School for Boys.
What's in there?
Both had heard the horror stories of what supposedly happened there,
Oh, these would be cells.
and were curious to see if any of that negative energy resulted in a haunting.
Anybody with me who's stuck here?
And if so, could they help whatever spirits remained move on?
You don't have to stay here anymore. You're allowed to go now. Yeah, we were just doing a walk through the building, and there was one room in the very center of the building that was pitch black. It didn't have access to any light, and I knew that the night vision IR camera would be able to pick up anything in that room. Is that one open? What is it? Smells musty in here, eh? Hello?
Despite a thorough walkthrough, Cindy and Jeremy didn't notice any unusual phenomena.
We're going out the door. Is there anything you want to say or do before we leave? It's pretty quiet in here, isn't it?
So they packed up their equipment and headed home.
Well, I guess we leave without talking to anybody.
But the investigation was far from over. When they reviewed the footage they shot in the school staff room, they caught something on camera that sent chills down their spines. Watch just to the left of the open door. Do you see the shadow figure? Here it is again.
It was very shocking. It felt like a punch in the stomach. I couldn't believe I walked that close to that thing. Oh my God. I had to review it over and over and over again and try to make sense of it. When I realized it couldn't be one of us, it was very shocking.
It looks like a moping, depressed, ashamed energy.
Shadow people are often understood to sort of be a coalescence of energy, and especially negative energy, which in this particular context, I think would make a lot of sense.
Cindy wondered, since it appeared in the staff room, could it have been one of the school's former and now deceased employees?
In a place like this, a boys' reformatory where some shady things happened, there's probably a lot of regret, there's guilt. It's entirely possible that this spirit is staying there because he doesn't want to move on.
Though spooked, Cindy and her partner Jeremy thought they might be able to help whomever or whatever was lingering in that room.
Okay.
So 10 days later, they returned to the school.
Come on, we'll take a little walk around.
This time with an electromagnetic field meter.
Are you stuck here? Light it up if the answer is yes. Is someone making you stay here?
Or EMF.
No?
That's a pretty common tool amongst ghost investigators. It reads magnetic or electrical fields that are detected. They seem to be very successful in places that are known to have some sort of paranormal energy.
People use the meters as a tool for communication. Can you make this light up? Can you make this light up to a certain point? Once for yes, twice for no, or just light it up at all if you can understand me.
Light up the lights if you're older than 13. Okay. Were you a grown-up? Light up the lights if... Okay, you're a grown-up. We had our EMF meter was up to the red and answering questions on cue intelligently. We had quite a bit of interaction that day. Did you work here? Light it up for yes. Okay.
The fact that these lights were spiking on pointed questions is really interesting. And this is at a location she caught an apparition. Really, really interesting and really, really cool.
All right.
But what Cindy really wants to know is why is this spirit, or whatever it is, still here?
I know you might not want to think about it. Did you do some bad stuff? Yeah. And that makes you scared to move on? He was saying he felt very guilty. So I think that guilt was what was tying him to the location.
Someone's going to be trapped to repeat activities or exist in this limbo for time and all eternity. It should be someone who deserves it.
You're going to meet your maker. You're going to see how it felt to be on the receiving end of whatever you dished out.
After communicating with the spirit for 10 minutes, Cindy began to have an uncomfortable feeling and ended the conversation.
I could just feel anxiety, just a high anxiety feeling and a feeling like I didn't feel safe. I knew it wasn't my own feeling because the building was secure when we got there and I knew there was no one else in the building. But there was just this residual anxiety, like the boys must not have felt safe.
Cindy believes she was talking to one of the former employees that day. And in spite of any negative things this person may have done while alive, she hopes that she was able to help this spirit pass on. But she has no plans to visit the site again.
Well, I don't think we're gonna go back. I did the best I could to help whoever I could there.
Perhaps this entity can move on now because it's been able to express its remorse, express its guilt, and maybe that can give it some peace in the afterlife.
I know you might not want to think about it. Did you do some bad stuff? Yeah.